Namaskar. Welcome to Vision of Asia Voice, a community on ITV Gold. I'm Ashok Vyas, and here are the top stories of this edition. A conversation with Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on National Doctors' Day. A meeting with Sanjay Kaul, Jagdish Sevani and Pramod Bhagat on the theme Jammu and Kashmir Now, Clarity or Confusion, a part of that discussion, followed by a brief interaction with singer-composer Ashish Vaidya. All this coming up right after these short messages. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Vision of Asia Voice, a community, and today we are proud to be sharing a part of the conversation thanks to White House, that is with US Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy. Yes, that name definitely takes you back home in India and with Indian roots. Here are some Indian Americans making all of us proud. Dr. Vivek Murthy in his weekly conversation talks about how America has come a long way in the face of challenge posed by COVID-19. Take a look.
A year ago, if you had told me that we'd have not only millions of people vaccinated, but that we'd be meeting in person and being able to talk in close proximity to each other, I would have said, wow, that's pretty ambitious, but here we are.
My role is I'm the deputy coordinator of our White House COVID response team. And so in that really help try to coordinate all of these various parts of our government that have really come and stepped up to help Americans get back to closer to normal. So Vivek, can you tell me a little more about your role in responding to the pandemic? I know what a huge part you've been playing here in helping us coordinate the government effort, but I think it'd be great for us to hear it from you.
This is really the honor of my life to be involved in this work at this moment and to serve as Surgeon General. The job of the Surgeon General is to help provide the public with information, to help them improve their health, and to also oversee the U.S. Public Health Service Commission Corps, the 6,000 plus officers who help protect the nation's public health each and every day. Just figuring how this whole pandemic is affecting. Have you had conversations with your kids about it, or do you have a sense of?
Yeah, we certainly have. And, you know, they have gone from life as normal to not going to school for almost a full year, to going back to school fully masked and wearing a mask constantly. If we step back, it's even hard to imagine where we were on January 20th and how far we've come.
Government, I think, really played an important role in helping people figure out what they could do. And to see the whole country rowing together in the same direction, to see this all-in moment for America as we get cases down and we see vaccination rates going up, that's really heartening. It gives me more faith in what we can do in the future. It gives me the sense that we're on the right track, and I hope we stay there.
And as you know, during the transition, this was the president's primary goal in talking to all of us as we developed these plans, is really how can we use every asset of this government, which is so powerful and so mighty. When we put our mind to doing something, can we really do it well? And so it's exciting to see that we're on the path to recovery. What would you say to the Americans who are still hesitant to get the vaccine?
People have different reasons why they aren't vaccinated. Some people have questions about the vaccine itself. Others are wondering, is it still important for me to get vaccinated? Maybe they see cases coming down and they think the pandemic's over. And for other people, it's an issue of access. Maybe they are finding it hard to take time off from work, or they're not sure who's going to take care of their children. The good news is that we are all on the same page, all of us in the country, about wanting to get past this pandemic, get back to our way of life. And what we've learned over the last many months is that the single quickest path to doing that and safest path is actually to get vaccinated. Just by going to vaccines.gov, putting in your zip code, you can find places around you where you can walk in, get vaccinated on your schedule, and then go home knowing that you have the benefit of protection against this virus.
While we are appreciative of the accomplishments of Indian American doctors and various organizations that are working to serve the community, we are also thankful to all physicians who put their lives at harm's way to serve. And tomorrow, in memory of physician as well as statesman Dr. B.C. Roy, India would be observing 1st July as National Doctors' Day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi talked about it in his radio address Man Ki Baat. Take a look.
मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, अब से कुछ दिनों बाद 1 जुलाई को हम नेशनल डॉक्टर्स डे मनाएंगे। ये दिन देश के महान चिकित्सक और स्टेट्समैन डॉक्टर बीसी राय की जन्म जयंती को समर्पित है। कोरोना काल में डॉक्टर्स के योगदान के हम सब आभारी हैं। हमारे डॉक्टर्स ने अपनी जान की परवाह न करते हुए हमारी सेवा की है। इसलिए इस बार नेशनल डॉक्टर्स डे और भी खास हो जाता है। साथियों, मेडिसिन की दुनिया के सबसे सम्मानित लोगों में से एक हिपोक्रेट्स ने कहा था, "Wherever the art of medicine is loved, there is also a love of humanity." यानी जहां आर्ट ऑफ मेडिसिन के लिए प्रेम होता है, वहां मानवता के लिए भी प्रेम होता है। डॉक्टर्स इसी प्रेम की शक्ति से ही हमारी सेवा कर पाते हैं। इसलिए हमारा ये दायित्व है कि हम उतने ही प्रेम से उनका धन्यवाद करें, उनका हौसला बढ़ाएं। वैसे हमारे देश में कई लोग ऐसे भी हैं जो डॉक्टर्स की मदद के लिए आगे बढ़कर काम करते हैं। श्रीनगर से एक ऐसे ही प्रयास के बारे में मुझे पता चला। यहाँ डल झील में एक बोट एम्बुलेंस सर्विस की शुरुआत की गई। इस सेवा को श्रीनगर के तारिक अहमद पटलू जी ने शुरू किया, जो एक हाउस बोट ओनर है। उन्होंने खुद भी कोविड-19 से जंग लड़ी है और इसी से उन्हें एम्बुलेंस सर्विस शुरू करने के लिए प्रेरित किया। उनकी इस एम्बुलेंस से लोगों को जागरूक करने का अभियान भी चल रहा है। वो लगातार एम्बुलेंस से अनाउंसमेंट भी कर रहे हैं। कोशिश यही है कि लोग मास्क पहनने से लेकर दूसरी हर जरूरी सावधानी बरतें।
There are several initiatives which are promising, which face a lot of scrutiny, and one such initiative by Government of India was abrogation of Article 370 and 35A, which changed the way Jammu and Kashmir was deprived of some of the policies of development by on national level. But has it really resulted into the kind of hopes which were raised by abrogation of Article 370, which also included that Indians would be able to buy land and property in Jammu and Kashmir, and there will be sincere and dynamic efforts in rehabilitation of Kashmiri Pandits, and all those hopes where we are in terms of reality. We had a discussion, and here are some highlights where we begin with Sanjay Kaul, who is president of World Hindu Council of America, and he is not very happy with the way things have unfolded. And when this all-party meeting was called, he questions why Kashmiri Pandits were not a part of it. Here are some excerpts from that interesting and stimulating conversation.
It's very relevant as the meeting was recently called by the Prime Minister and the Home Minister to meet with the political parties and all the political leaders of Kashmir. When I heard about it, two thoughts crossed my mind. One was in this whole attempt to include and reach out to the people of the now Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the Kashmiri Hindus, the Kashmiri Pandits have been excluded from this process. So that was very, very concerning for me. For I am a Kashmiri Pandit. I am a Hindu who has been forced to leave Kashmir. As probably you don't know, I lived, born and brought up in Kashmir and I lived there until 1991. Even after the mass exodus took place, I was still there and I left. So I have all those memories of being in that place, what the jihad brought to the Kashmir Valley, how the militancy erupted there, and it forced us to leave. And now we have been living as refugees in our own country, India. And when there is an opportunity to have talks of any kind, they are excluding those who have been the worst sufferers of this whole jihadi
Sanjay
movement.
ji, allow me to interrupt you, and I just want to seek input from Jagdish Sevani ji, who I feel is more in tune with the mindset of Indian government, being, of course, always following the ideology of Prime Minister Modi, especially personally as well as through his organization. But the question is, what concern Sanjay ji has raised is very relevant. And not just Kashmiri Pandits, but many Hindus feel that now, while you are looking up to this government as a complete representative of the nation and not catering to appeasement type of policies which were a part of the previous government. And then you have this meeting. What might be the thought process? Why didn't they invite Kashmiri Pandits if it is a meeting related to Jammu and Kashmir? If you heard something, or what can you think about that?
Well, Ashokji, thank you very much, first of all, for having me. And you have really said the word appeasement. Till last 70 years, the previous government, all they were doing is appeasement. But the current government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, they want to, like Kashmir is an integral part of India, say they want to see that democracy prevails, the Kashmiris have same rights as the rest of India. So this is a good beginning. I think 5th August will be written in golden letters in the history of India from now 20 years, 50 years after that. First of all, 5th August, the abrogation of Article 370 happened 2 years back. After that, Ram Janmabhoomi Shilanyas. This is the first step. Now he has invited all the leadership of Kashmiri, the former chief minister, and whoever the concerned parties. And in the due course of time, of course, Kashmiri Pandits will be invited, because they are the only people in the whole world. They were made refugees in their own countries. So they will definitely be part of it. Yes.
Absolutely. So that was the grievance which Sanjay ji raised, and it logically sounds that, you don't have clear-cut explanation. There might be something more. And Pramod ji, continuing with the same kind of a question, and you also have always supported Prime Minister Modi, and many people have supported. I think Sanjay ji must have also supported. But now, looking at this current scenario, when you exclude Kashmiri Pandits from this important landmark historical meeting, there must be some thing going on in the minds of the government. Not just that, but there's another thing. When you look at the kind of murmurs which you were listening before the meeting was happening, that some of these leaders would ask for reinstating Article 370. So I think Prime Minister Modi made that clear in their physical presence that is not going to happen, and Pakistan would not be involved in any kind of conversation over Jammu and Kashmir. So those points, and anything that comes to your mind from the point of view of Kashmiri Pandits, especially with reference to this meeting.
Thank you, Ashokji. So being a social activist, and my understanding and then the way we saw this government is working for last 7 years, they're accessing their choice, powers, and their mental capability. That's why they invited them. But there is no doubt in our government to give them a chance for this situation, because whole countries knows about those Kashmiri
Separatists.
Activist, whatever, So definitely this is a just assessment before going further, because I know India is the largest democratic country, and now after the all part has been divided to two different parts, Kashmir, Jammu, and Ladakh. So now the election is planning to be happen soon. So that's why they are planning and accessing the minds and the. I know that lot of अलगाववादी जो नेता वहां पे थे ऑलरेडी उन लोगों को एलिमिनेट तो कर दिया गया है
Okay,
और
so
उनको भी पता है किसी तरह से मेन स्ट्रीम में वो आना चाहते हैं तो ओनली जस्ट try to get their feedbacks, try to understand because
yes,
I know
fair enough. Yeah, fair enough, Pramodji. So that is one way of looking at it. And now, considering the positive outcome, possibly positive from your point of view, also Sanjay ji, and from those who are concerned about the say of Kashmiri Pandits, one Prime Minister Modi mentioned that they will give back the status of statehood to Jammu and Kashmir after the process of measurement, or in Hindi the word was pariseeman. So this is demarcation, and the way different constituencies would have demographic
Delimitation.
what is the word?
Delimitation.
Delimitation.
Yeah.
Basically reorganizing the state in terms of determining how many seats could be allocated to each region.
Right. So let me just conclude by requesting you. Do you think it would have some consideration and possibly a more powerful say for Hindus in Valley, Jammu and Kashmir, the way it would be redefined, or it would have no impact on them from this point of view?
If you would be kind enough to allow me to respond to your first question with my second thought of concern,
Please,
which
sir.
was that the meeting was called for without setting an agenda. And at that time, all the people, 14 people who had been invited, were talking about getting the statehood, re-establishing Article 370 and 35A, bringing in Pakistan as a actor in the negotiation process with India and things like that. So they had created that narrative. I'm glad that in the meeting it was made amply clear to them that Pakistan will not be made any party to any discussions because this is an internal matter. But this should have been set right in upfront in the discussions. When you invite somebody, you tell them this is our agenda. You want to participate, then you abide by that agenda. So that was point one. Number two is when you're talking about the delimitation process, the current structure of the state, Jammu and Kashmir state, before the 370 article was removed on August 5th in 2019, there were certain number of seats allocated to Jammu region and certain to Kashmir. Kashmir always had the higher number of seats, so that the majority, once they win the elections, would be from Kashmir, and they would be always be electing a Kashmiri Muslim as the chief minister. And that has happened so far ever since our independence. Now, there was a thought process that distribution of seats could be revisited, and they all has set up a commission which is being headed by Justice Rangarajan Desai, with 5-member team in which Dr. Jatinder Singh is part of it, Jugal Kishore, an MP, is part of it, Farooq Abdullah is part of it, Muhammad Akbar Loan is part of it, and Mr. Masoodi is part of it. And that commission is in place. What they are trying to look at is how do we reallocate the seats. Now, what they have decided to do, which in my opinion is unfortunate and it worries me, is they are going to base it on the census of 2011. And that census in Jammu and Kashmir state was actually false, because it showed increase in population in the Kashmir Valley, whereas decrease in the population in Jammu region. Which is very hard to believe, because if you look at Jammu region, all the refugee from Kashmir, 5 lakh people have come and settled in Jammu. There are Gujars and Bakarwals who have come and settled in Jammu. And there are many other people who have come, because Jammu has become a nerve center and a business center. So one would expect the population would go up. But this census of 2011 shows that there is a decline. That means if they had 37 seats, now they may actually go down.
Yeah.
So,
Sanjay,
so the,
yeah,
the dominance of Hindus in this new structure may not exist. So that is worrisome for me.
Welcome back. You're watching Vision of Asia was a community on ITV Gold, and this program, as you know, comes to you on ITV Gold every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays at 8 p.m. And a special weekly edition of Vision of Asia is brought at your living rooms on Sundays at 11 a.m. We appreciate your continued support, love, and encouraging comments for our loving offerings of different programs. Stay with us. Vision of Asia continues right after these short messages. Ashish Vaidya is a promising young singer and composer, and his enthusiasm made us look at the talent and potential hidden in Ashish. Here is a part of my conversation with Ashish.
मेरा father बहुत records खरीदते थे और I was always there looking at all the albums he was buying, ghazals हो या नज़म्स हो या कवालीज हो या film music हो, जो भी genre हो, I took a liking and connected to that level of music.
Wonderful. ऐसा कुछ याद आता है बचपन की कोई गाने जो आपका मन होता हो कि मैं गुनगुनाऊं उनको और बार-बार आप गाते हो?
वो गाना था फिल्म कुदरत.
अच्छा.
हमें तुमसे प्यार कितना ये हम नहीं जानते, मगर जी नहीं सकते तुम्हारे बिना, हमें तुमसे प्यार.
आप बहुत पैशनेटली इन्वॉल्व रहे हैं, जैसे FIA का जो इवेंट होता है तो
हाँ,
इवेंट्स वगैरह में उसमें क्या आपको अच्छा लगता है जो वैरायटी?
कम्युनिटी के लिए काम करना ऐसा सबसे बड़ा काम. सेल्फलेस वर्क इज़ द बेस्ट वर्क. और मैंने परेड में काम किया है. परेड के बाद जो कल्चरल शो है उसका सब इंतज़ाम, सब कोऑर्डिनेशन मैंने किया है. और डांस पे चांस मैंने बहुत 3-4 मैंने किया है न्यू जर्सी पे. कोऑर्डिनेशन, managing the trophies, managing the artists, managing different groups, and making sure that the groups have the food and rehearsal and then lighting and lot of technical stuff also.
So now let us move towards your own composition, जिसका एल्बम या probably digital release होने वाला है. क्या है वो?
हाँ, वो गाना मैंने कंपोज किया है. It's a Punjabi style song. Hopefully it will be picked up very soon by one of the major music labels in India this year. I'm looking for a producer right now to produce the song.
उसको आप थोड़ा सा गुनगुना के बताएं हमारे दर्शकों को.
Oh, ज़रूर. बहुत lot of fun and lot of very light but very fun and very entertaining. कुड़िए मैनू अच्छी लगती है, कुड़िए मैनू अच्छी लगती है, इसलिए तुझे तड़पाऊंगा, आशिक तुझे बनाऊंगा, तेरे नाल के ओ सोनिए नाल के ओ बलिए नाल के ओ हिरिए नाल के. कुड़िए मैनू अच्छी लगती है, कुड़िए मैनू अच्छी लगती है. मेरा गाना राग भैरव में था.
अच्छा, वो कौन सा था?
हाँ, वो ऐसा है कि मेरे लिए सैया लौटा हो ना, तेरे बिना मेरा कोई नहीं है, तेरे बिना मेरा कोई नहीं है, मेरे लिए सैया लौटाओ ना. तो उसने बहुत अच्छा लगा. उसने कहा कि ये गाना सिर्फ लता जी गा सकती है.
अच्छा.
तो मैंने कहा थैंक यू सो मच फ्रॉम रवि, द मैन हू मेड निखा एंड चौधरी का चांद. इतने वक्त, इतने बड़े फिल्म्स के म्यूजिक दिया है उन लोगों ने, उनने. तो ही टोल्ड मी दैट आई फेल्ट गुड.
तो ये लिखा किसने था गाना?
अब मैंने खुद लिखा है.
अच्छा. तो आप काफ़ी मल्टी टैलेंटेड हैं ऐसा लगता है. आप लिखते भी हैं, गाते भी हैं, कंपोज भी करते हैं. क्या सपना है आपका आगे? आप मार्केटिंग में ज़्यादा ग्रो करना चाहते हैं या एज एन आर्टिस्ट ज़्यादा ग्रो करना चाहते हैं?
I will always be a marketer. That is inborn. Whatever I do in life, but now I will go into music full time. बहुत ध्यान, बहुत दिमाग से, with lot of faith and royalty. I will go in royalty, and will go in and see what I can do for the people.
And now time to say goodbye from today's Vision of Asia Voice community. We appreciate your presence with us. Take care, stay well. This is Ashok Vyas. Namaste.